It's my opinion that everything woke just turns into crap. And that's exactly what happened with the Wachowski brothers. They, of course, made The Matrix, wrote and directed it, of course, made one of the greatest science fiction films of all time, which, had a lot of borrowing from William Gibson's Neuromancer, which I hope the Apple TV series will do honor to the original. But they got there first in the film version. It worked very, very well, and it was a great movie. Now, yesterday on the channel, we covered on how that was a right-wing movie and why it worked very, very well. And, of course, Lily Wachowski, whose real name is Andrew, he's a dude pretending to be a woman now, admitted that. But in the interview also, he started talking about how his transgenderism started informing his writing. And this is the problem with identity politics and everything. And when writers get into identity politics, they have to make everything about themselves. It's always a self-insert. It's always trying to feel seen. And it's so painful to watch as an outsider because that's not an interesting or heroic story. Feeling seen as a transgender is just like, please, like, turn off the TV. I don't want to deal with this. And that's exactly what happened to the Wachowski brothers films in recent years. It's like a case study in where woke goes wrong. And so let's get into this news in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things sci-fi here. I appreciate you for being here, my friends. I'm a sci-fi writer myself, so if you want to check out my work, this is a great place to do so. Valiant Frontiers is a new novel trilogy that is all about space exploration, the sense of wonder, sense of heroism. It's not a self-insert. It's about a fellow named Captain Christopher Conley who's out exploring the universe on behalf of humanity in order to save humanity. It's really good stuff, and it really is meant to launch a wonderful world and series. So you're going to enjoy this. It's only got like 3 days left on the campaign, so I don't want you to miss this. We've got beautiful premium versions. This is getting towards the end of it. It needs your support now. So please check it out. It's in the description below. Thank you guys so much for backing, and of course, I'm very, very excited to get these stories to you. Again, we're bringing back sci-fi to what it is supposed to be, and that's in the description below. Thanks for supporting the channel with this effort. All right, so the Matrix creator, Andrew Wachowski, explains how living a disordered transgender lifestyle changed how he makes art. Like I said, it's always a self-insert with these people. It's always that problem. And that's why none of it feels very interesting or real, because it's like, gosh, it's like I can read your Facebook posts about how you like made an omelet this morning, like, and ate it. It's like that's not very exciting as a film, right? And it's the same thing here. So in an interview with Caleb Huron, Wachowski reveals he channels his rage into his scripts. Have you noticed all these trans and LGBTQ and woke people are always ragey or angry or upset or depressed? It is mental illness. It 100% is. That woke mind virus is something that is just creates this disorder and anger and just like the hate of the world, and then they channel that back into their works, and of course their works don't feel very good at that point. So that's the whole deal. He explains how he looks at his old projects differently. He says, I look back on my previous work and I see it like I'm looking at it from a higher place. It's interesting. It's like he's ascended into heaven now, but he's raging. So why are you... Okay, I guess don't try to unpack the gender dysphoria thing. It just doesn't make any sense ever, right? That's why they're always so miserable. It just creates this different perspective from this point of view here, and I could see, like, Bound, the first shot of the movie is a closet, and I'm like, okay, it looks like we're going to be working on some stuff. All right. So, of course, now he ties that to his own coming out of the closet, right? And so that's what it is. It's always a self-insert, when Bound really didn't have anything to do with the transgenderism or anything like that. His first films were pretty interesting, and we'll go over that list here before we get into the rest of this, like, crazy interview. Look at this. Like Assassins, this was an okay movie, decent action movie. Bound, okay movie again. Matrix just crushed it, right? And so they got their work going. They did very, very well, and then they finally, on their third movie, really had a breakout, amazing hit. The Animatrix was really cool. If you guys didn't watch this, it was like a spin-off of The Matrix. Really well done and good stuff. And this was probably the next best thing in The Matrix after this. Matrix Reloaded took the franchise in like a poor direction. That was a bummer, and that really was like the path towards not as good. But it was an okay film. It was all right. And of course, The Matrix Revolutions was just a pretty bad wrap-up of that as well. So that's where they're at. It didn't work out very well. Then they did V for Vendetta, adapting Alan Moore's. They did an excellent job with that film, as much as that film is a political nightmare in of itself. It's a different story. It wasn't a self-insert. It was actually just caring for these characters based on the comics, and they did a pretty good job of that on this. Then they took on Speed Racer, which I think think is an underrated film. I thought Speed Racer was pretty good, actually. Even though a lot of people didn't like it, I think they just didn't understand it. And I think if you go back and watch it now, you might enjoy it. So I don't know. If you're a Speed Racer fan, leave me a comment in the description below, both of the anime and of this. Which one did you like better? Well, obviously the anime is better, but did this do a good job of a like Hollywood film adaptation of it? I thought it did. It was corny, and corny as all hell. But I think that's why like people didn't like it so much, because The Matrix is dark and all that, and they expected this dark Speed Racer, which doesn't make sense in the context. But like I said, they've got some good stuff there. Cloud Atlas was like acceptable. Jupiter Ascending was a complete disaster, and this is where they started going off the rails, right? This is where they started their transgender journey, and it started causing problems for their output, right? Look at this. It's their lowest rating of anything. Now, Sense8 has a high rating, and I don't know why. Sense8 was really where it went off the rails. They teamed with J. Michael Straczynski, who wrote Babylon 5 from before, and they've just made a complete disaster out of this. This is the first major woke effort out there. And I remember just watching it, and it opened with a transgender dude pretending to be a woman in like this like a dildo that they flung on the ground that was sopping wet. It was disgusting. I'm dead serious. That is how they opened the show. And then there's a ton of just gay sex in it, and then this giant orgy to build this into a climax. And it's like, obviously it was about their weird sex fetishes. And whenever they try to tell you it's about like who they are or whatever, it's not. It's always about a weird sex fetish. And this is what happens every single time. And this is where the content really starts to go off the rails. So Jupiter Ascending, as they're getting into it, you see as the Wachowskis, because they're starting their transgender journey, they can't even create correctly anymore. Sense8 is just a nightmare of just disgustingness. I mean, it's probably one of the worst things on Netflix. And there's a lot of bad things on Netflix. Pretty crazy. And then, of course, they try to get back to the Matrix and try to make it into a transgender allegory this time around during the pandemic, and came out with this, of course, making the strong female lead in charge instead. It was a disaster of a movie. Very bummer that they went back to this and, of course, wrecked it even further than they had in the original trilogy. But you see everything since then, and there's not a lot of output since then either. Like, this is Sense8 was years ago. Matrix 2015 to 2018. We're talking 10 years ago. Matrix Resurrections came out in 2021, which means they wrote it in 2019, 2020. So not only has their output gotten bad, it's also just declined that they're not even doing anything, barely even working at this point. So it starts there. You go through the Matrix about liberation, identity, and freedom. Identity, right? It's a cool thing about making art that you can will things into being, so you need to see the world to help pull yourself along. He continued. A lot of the things that me and Larry were also writing about was love. We needed to create stories that gave us a grounding to see that love was possible. As a trans person. The dark question I had as a trans person was, who will ever love this? It's like Edgar Allan Poe's story where you're just cementing yourself up in the closet longer and longer. Here's me and Larry, and we're like, this story is about love. Love is possible. These two people found each other, Corky and Violet, Neo and Trinity, and it gave us a reminder there was a future for us. All of it is great. I wouldn't make a story put on a story because we all need to be reminded that there is love out there, and there is love in the world, and it doesn't have to be romantic love between two people. It can just be effing love. Oh my gosh, these people are ridiculous. They always have to swear with everything, right? It's crazy. So next he addressed how sinful, disordered life he's chosen this is the way he makes art now. The things I'm working on in my subconscious are probably a little bit different than the things I was working on in my subconscious 20 years ago because you're insane now. I wrote this script with Mickey. It was just a way for us to process all of our trans rage we have about the world. Oh, I'm sure that's going to be fantastic. Going to be a big box office winner. This project started even before Work in Progress for me, where he wanted to make something special with me, and I'm completely done with the movies, and he's like, come on, we can make a story and put some kick-ass trans people in it, and they can kick a lot of ass. And I was like, well, that does sound kind of good. Oh, wow. Who's looking forward to this film, everybody? From there, he shared that the script began in 2017. Again, he hasn't done much. His art has been destroyed by his identity politics, right? I'm purging this rage and horror out in the world onto this page. Then he picked back up in 2021, said the world was like way effed for trans people. Got me that catharsis right out of fighting back and completely creating a caricature of buffoons on the right wing to create an idealized family, a network, a weather underground of trans people coming together and supporting each other and holding each other up, trying to create a story that's the best of us. It gave me a new way to think about what I wanted to put on the page now, so I had to be more conscious as opposed to unconscious when I'm taking work. And they're barely working. Like I said, it has destroyed this person's work. It's destroyed this person's life. And obviously, like, this was somebody who did something cool with art once upon a time and then went way off the rails. This is like what identity politics does every single time. And it's really, really a tragedy to watch this happening again, because what could have been if these people didn't go crazy like this? We'll never know. Well, I'm going to keep working here because I actually love the work. I'm excited for the work. I don't have rage. I'm just happy. I love my sci-fi, and it's really good stuff. If you like classic science fiction, if you want to bring it back, get rid of the disordered stuff, it starts here with independent work. So check this out. Only 3 days left on the campaign. It's in the description below. I really appreciate you guys being here. Back Valiant Frontiers today. We'll be back.